Welcome to Carol's Homestead in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. We are a botanical sanctuary. We are a member of United Plant Savers. We house at-risk plants. We have been having a botanical sanctuary plant sale, first ever, and it has been so successful, advertised in the Nashville Scene, which is a newspaper here, and I'm now advertised on the radio station. I did an interview last week talking about it. Real fast. Be nice. Be nice real fast. Can mean a lot of things to different people. You can go to different cities and pay a lot of money to go into a well-grown botanical sanctuary. This is not what that is. We don't charge any money for you to come here. And this is our homestead, and we are a botanical sanctuary for United Plant Savers of America. United Plant Savers has a program for at-risk plants. Golden seal, ginseng, Solomon seal, and that's just to name a few. And so we house those plants on our property, and we have about 6.5 undisturbed acres of woods. So I am buying the plants and putting them back into the property. We're also creating this atmosphere. Anyone can create a botanical sanctuary, but you have to have that atmosphere to go with it. We're putting in trails, we're putting in steps, we have Bluetooth technology, waterfalls, because we don't have any waterfalls here. But as you can come and sit and relax and meditate, it's just a place for you to feel safe and be away from the world. I have been teaching for a long time, and anything I have learned, I end up teaching it. I would go through books looking for my own answers, but the answers would not be there. So I get to rewrite the script for my own self. I just want to share my God given knowledge and talents and ability with people and inspire others at this point to be forest farmers or to save at risk plants. As a teacher, I love seeing the smiles and the happiness on the student's face of how easy it was to make medicine. Medicine is not hard. This medicine has been around since the beginning of time. So I love, that's what I love most. And that is my mission, for them to realize it's not really hard at all. Guess what? I'm a forest farmer. A forest farmer is not growing squash or green beans or cucumbers. I grow that in the greenhouse over there. But we're growing plants and we're using the non-timber things in the woods. Not only do I farm in the greenhouses and on the ground, but forest farming is all of this. I'm growing at-risk plants in mints under the canopy. So a forest farmer grows under the canopy on the ground. So in the fall, I start replanting golden seal, ramps, Solomon seal, and the canopy starts leaving. So it's more sunlight, and it's it's a totally different feel. It's a sacred feeling, but it's the green starts leaving. So I'll start planting, and I'll plant from September to December if the weather is permitted, long as the ground is not frozen. And then they'll all come up in the spring. So that's what a forest farmer is. When the students arrive, we take a tour of the property. We go to the front, the back, the sides, and we identify the plants. And many of them take their phones out and start taking pictures so they can remember. I have signs by them so they know what the plants are. And now we're trying to incorporate what actions those plants do, put two actions on there. For instance, ginseng, the immunity and stress. And then we come to the woods and we identify plants, and then we go in the house and we learn how to make products. And they really love it. The plants were put here for us. We have neglected the woods. We have neglected the plants. So it's not too late to start. You can start today planting in the woods. And if you have a house and you don't have any woods, you find the most shady place under a tree, not a pine, but a hardwood that can feed the soil. I don't think there is an age for forest farming. And if I had children again, little small children, we would be out here forest farming, but I would have to be a whole lot younger. So the earlier that we can start a child off learning to appreciate the canopy and the green and the dirt and the undisturbed woods and the rotten trees that we think are rotten, the better it is. United Plant Savers, you can become a member by paying $100. And so we paid the $100 after I found so many plants on our property and I couldn't sleep. I was like, God, what do you want me to do? Plants do you want me to do? There are children that are at risk, and there are plants that are at risk. There are animals that are at risk, and there's insects. So right now, at this age I am now, I'm choosing to work with plants that are at risk. After realizing that we had so many plants that I couldn't figure out who put them here and why were they here and what was my work to do, what was my mission. I contacted United Plant Savers, and my husband and I paid the $100 fee to become a member, and then we became a botanical sanctuary for the at-risk plants. And then I applied for a grant with them and got the grant, bought plants with that money and planted that. And then the plaque is up there on the at the street that says that we're a member of United Plant Savers. But for this one, a certification of verification is forest grown, which means there's 10 plants. There's about 15 or 20 plants that are at risk. Some are more critical than others, like ginseng and golden seal. This certification here is forest grown, which there's only 10 plants, and we have all 10 of them housed in these woods. And we had to do a show on a map where they were, and we have to get certified every February. And this is through United Plant Savers too. So I am able to buy a bunch of roots from various people in Tennessee that have farms, and then I take it and put it here. So starting in August, I'll start buying ginseng. I've already planted since this spring 300 ginseng roots. They're 2 years old, and it takes 7 years for them to develop their medicine. So people come and steal ginseng, and they don't even know how old the ginseng is. Ours are all 2 years old to 3 years old. They have 4 more years to create their medicines, and before the medicines are potent enough to help us with our immunities and our problems that we have that ginseng helps us with. I love to work with herbs. I have always worked with herbs since I was 29 years old, and I'm 67 in September. So herbs are my first go-to when I get sick. So I want people to have their own medicines in their own backyard. That is my mission, is to restore these woods which have been neglected. But it's alive now, just like the sound of music, the words in the sound of music. The hills are alive with the sound of music. That so these woods are alive with plants, and now the sound has come back. Before it wasn't here, and now it has come back. Since we've been a botanical sanctuary of 2021, I've planted 4,000 plants in the woods. Grow things in the wood. Yes, there's plants out that were already here, and we have plants all over in these 6.5 acres of undisturbed woods that been here since my ancestors put them here. But you have to replenish and you have to grow. And people have told me that now, since they've been over here, they know for sure that they can go home and do the same in their woods. It looks the same way. It doesn't have to be like this national park. That's not the look you're looking for. You're looking for undisturbed woods. We have trees now. We have foliage. We have this is what fertilizes the wood. These dead leaves in the yard, you're breaking them up, but in the woods, this puts it here. And guess what? I had these woods, the soil tested from the government. It's the $35 test. Nothing was needed. I met Dawn through another friend who has a great she grows grapes, and we needed help, and I called him and he came, and he's been here ever since, and I'm so grateful. So he takes my dead plants that I think is dead and restores them back to health, and his whole garden is full of it.
My name is Don. I'm 75 years old and I'm becoming a forest farmer with Carol. She's teaching me everything. I'm an apprentice. Well, I moved up here to Tennessee about 3 years ago, but minus 2 years of COVID. And I was looking for something to do because I'm a disabled veteran. It was just home. Well, initially I just came to volunteer to be out here. I love the woods, I always have, and never got into them in this kind of depth, all the wild medicines and foods. I was just looking for plants to plant in my garden, and I figured if it came from here, it had to be something good. I have probably a quarter of them. I haven't identified them yet because they're just coming back to life, but elderberry, milkweed, peppers, corn, peas, pumpkins, squash, sunflowers. If they love being in the forest, the birds, the waterfalls, the plants and everything, it's so easy. It's just a wonderful, relaxing.
Confident. And the second is to become empowered. And empowered means to give power. 3 is to be prepared, self-sufficient. I want people to have the confidence. Once you have the confidence in gardening or forest farming or greenhouse farming, you can do anything. A time is coming where we're going to have to be self-sufficient. And so my whole thing is to teach you how to make medicines in my classes and to know how to make those medicines so that you can help others and your family and yourself. I want people to go home when they leave my class inspired, or if they come and buy plants from me, and nurture those plants because they are at risk. A lot of plants are at risk because they're over harvested and stolen from the mountains and from the woods. I
can have classes anytime anybody wants to have a class. They just need to contact me at 615-485-4548. And I'm Carol, remember? And then I have a website. It's www.carolshomestead.org. So if you want a class, and I just had a class the other day, it was 8 people. Like I said before, I don't care if it's one person, 2 people, or 5 people, or 17 or 30. It doesn't matter to me. You're important to me, and I want to teach you. So just call me.